Hey everyone, Ashley May and Mike Beer here with the Daily Racing Forum, taking a look at the Saturday race of the day for June 14th. We're going to Delaware Park for it. It's race number 9 on their 10 race program. It's the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks, mile and a 16th on the dirt. And it's a field of 9, Mike. And when I was, getting ready to open the past performances, I'm pretty surprised with this field. It's a pretty good group top to bottom.
I like the field too. It's very well matched too. I didn't feel like there was necessarily one standout in the field that you had to really be afraid to bet against anyway. I thought a lot of different horses could win here, and you should get a fair price on everybody.
We'll take a look at the Time Forum U.S. pace projection here, and it's interesting to see some of these names. Paris Lily, we saw firsthand the Black-Eyed Susan try to take them gate to wire, came up a little bit short. I think for a horse like her, they're not going to change any of her tactics. She should be forward, and they also predict that the 3 Complexity Jane will be as well. I'm just not sure how quick the 3 really is, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not either. I thought for sure Paris Lily could make the lead in here if they wanted it. You mentioned that Black-Eyed Susan. I mean, the first 3 finishers from that race are all back in here. Worth noting that race was sort of run over a mess of a racetrack. So we'll see if those horses can repeat those performances.
We'll kick it off here with the number 1, Kinsey Queen. We'll take a look at that Black-Eyed Susan. So there was a weather delay. There was a shelter in place. A lot of things happening at Pimlico, and you mentioned it. Sloppy might be an understatement. This track took a lot of rain very quickly. And Paris Lily, we can see here on the front end, she's trying to stick in, but Margie's intention is going to get the better of her. But I also think looking at Kinsey Queen, she has to rally from towards the back of the pack. That can be very demanding, especially with conditions like this. And I thought it was a very good third place finish from her.
Yeah, you can see how tired Paris Lily is at the end of this race here. Margie's intention was the favorite, and so she ran to that back and she ran fine. But as far as Kinsey Queen goes, I mean, that's what you're going to get from her. She doesn't have a lot of speed. She's going to be at the back of the pack here, hoping this pace gets fast and she can come running late and pick up some of these pieces.
And her last 2 have just been better races for her, even in terms of figures, how she's been able to stack against better fillies. The number 2, Late Night Call up next. This one going to race with blinkers off after basically racing with them in 5 of those 6 starts. And last time out, she was able to take a step forward after finishing 4th in the Weber City Miss, but still feel like she'll need to take a big step forward against this group.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. I mean, her recent form is solid. It seems like she is getting better with every start, but she's got to improve again.
The 3 Complexity Jane, this one for Brittany Russell and Golden Lion Racing. She's technically undefeated in her career, but she's only been in front in terms of crossing the wire twice. Now, you look at her most recent effort, we talked about her maybe being part of the pace perspective. I just don't think the time was that, stellar, going a mile and a 16th. And maybe a little bit has to do with the level that she faced. I'm not saying that she has to go to the lead. She ran very well on debut, sprinting and closing from off of it. But I have some question marks around her.
I do too. I also didn't, finish that strongly, even in that most recent start where she did wind up holding on in her 2-turn debut. This is going to be a tougher race for her. This pace is going to be faster than that one. I really respect these connections, but there's just a lot working against this horse, I think.
The 4, Margie's Intention, we saw her win the Black-Eyed Susan when we showed that replay moments ago. A filly that I think she really finally got tested last time out, right? She got away from the Louisiana breds. It was her first start in the barn of Brad Cox, and I doubted her, Mike. I didn't want to use her at such a short price, and she certainly proved me wrong, and it was a great effort. And as I mentioned, it was nice to see her get out of the Louisiana bred races.
Exactly. I don't have any real knocks on her. I mean, all of her races to this point are just really good. And, even the 2 losses in Louisiana State Bred Company, I mean, the horse that beat her that day, Blue Fire, is a really good horse. And she ran fine in both of those races. They gave her, a little bit of a tougher test last time. I thought she came through it really, really well. And I thought she was the horse to beat right back.
The 5, Paris Lily, we saw her on the front end. She did finish second in the Black-Eyed Susan. You mentioned she was pretty tired in there. I do think a lot had to do with the surface, though, and I think for her, a mile and an 1/8, I think she can get it with the right setup, right, with the perfect trip. But I think a mile and a 16th is better for her, and hopefully weather-wise, I'm hoping to see her over a fast track.
I agree. A slight little cut back here can help her. And listen, as tired as she was at the end of the Black-Eyed Susan, it was very obvious how tired she was. It was longer than this, and that pace was fast, man. It's not like she was walking on the lead in there. She went a really solid clip there over a really, sort of wet and tiring racetrack. I thought she ran fine in that race.
The 6, Cassiar for Shug McGay. He was 3rd in the Gulfstream Park Oaks 2 starts back, but most recently was able to win in New York. And I know it wasn't a big field in New York, but Mike, curious to pick your thoughts on that race. Obviously, you follow that circuit very closely. Felt like with the short field, she did get the right trip.
She got a perfect trip in that race. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, just in the right position throughout. The horses that wound up second and third at the end, they sort of really hooked it up there around the turn. They were racing in front of her, and she just sat it out, came running at the end, and picked them off. I think there's nothing wrong with her. I thought she ran fine in that race, even with a good trip. Her debut, I thought, was a really nice performance, closing as a sprinter. She's got pedigree to go on and just keep getting better for a really, really good trainer. I mean, I'm not like, I don't think it's not that I don't think she's any good. I just don't know that I'd want to bet her in here if she starts taking money. I think there's a chance she takes money.
The 7 Fondly was able to win very impressively on debut, followed that up in the Virginia Oaks at Colonial. And I don't know how you assess her Kentucky Oaks. I mean, obviously it was a huge step up in her third career start. Big field. She didn't run well, but I also wonder if it sort of worked against her a little bit going from Tampa 7/8 to Colonial mile and a 16th. That's not traditional. Their main track, I believe, is a mile and a quarter, right, Mike? So it's a different ball game. And I feel like she was up against it last time out. She was a big price. I feel like this is a way better spot for her.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ultimately, and I thought she was kind of interesting in the Kentucky Oaks because I think each of her first 2 starts are really good, even though the figures suggest she's a little slow. I thought she looked really good winning. So I thought I was interested in her in the Oaks, and I used her in that race. And ultimately, actually, she just looked like she was totally overmatched in that spot. Irad gave her a perfect trip, and she just couldn't keep up with those horses. This is a way better spot.
The 8 Dinosaur, this one from Mike Denny, is going to step up in class, is yet to tackle stakes competition in any sort or form, but was second last time out as the favorite in that allowance optional claiming event at Monmouth, going a mile. Obviously she's had some impressive performances, but I just don't think it's been against this caliber, and she's going to be a huge price in here. If you like her, I just can't endorse her.
Agree. Like this trainer a lot. The 2 wins when they got her over to dirt came wire to wire fashion. I didn't really see her making the lead in this race, and I don't like her other 2 races enough.
And then rounding out the field is the number 9, What in the Literal, who was able to graduate in the Astoria very nicely last summer at Saratoga. But since then, you've just seen a whole bunch of things. And I feel like now as a 3-year-old filly, they're still trying to figure out what she wants to do. Does she want to sprint, or what does she want to go long?
Exactly. Just not a fan of this horse anyway, but how about a little entry-level allowance? What's wrong with that?
All right, that's the field of 9 for the Saturday race of the day, the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks. And don't forget, free pass performances on the DRF website if you're looking to get involved. It's going to be a nice card Saturday out at Delaware. And time for our top selections here, Mike, in this field. And I know a couple of these fillies we've been high on, and it's our top 2, I guess, now. I was in the camp where I doubted Margie's Intention, but Fondly, that's your direction. She showed a lot of talent, as you mentioned, in those first 2.
I think Margie's Intention's the horse to beat right back. I want to give Fondly one more chance in this race. I do think there's a chance that she's pretty good, and this seems like a way better spot for her.
7-4-6-5 for Mike, 4-7-5-1 for me. Race number 9 this Saturday at Delaware. Good luck.